Hi, today I'd like to show you a couple of techniques for weaving in your ends in your brioche knitting. There are a number of different ways to do this, but I'm going to show you some of my favorites. And um, since brioche is a reversible fabric, you want to use a technique for weaving in your ends that is minimally visible on both sides. If you are weaving in ends in something that's seamed, like a garment, usually I will just weave my ends into the seams, which takes a lot of the stress away from trying to make sure that it is invisible. But if you have something like a shawl where both sides are going to be visible, you still want to have a nice way to weave in your ends. So I'm going to put one of my tails on my darning needle. And my yarn is coming out towards the front of my fabric. I would like to weave this in on the side of the fabric where the yarn overs are in the same color as the yarn I'm weaving in. So I'm going to just pop this through to the other side of my fabric. Now you can see we get these V's of yarn overs in the columns between our knit columns. And one of the easiest ways to weave in your ends in brioche is to simply go behind these columns of yarn overs. If you're using a particularly slippery yarn, actually splitting the yarn as you're sewing through this can help keep this a little bit extra secure. So if you split your yarn, don't stress about it. That can actually be a good thing sometimes. And now after I've gone through a number of rows, I'm going to pop my needle behind both legs of one stitch of the other color, and now go back down the other leg of these yarn overs. And then I could trim that end. I would do that usually after I block. And you can see that is minimally visible on the wrong side, and you really can't see it at all on the right side. Now with my green, I'm going to show you one of the other techniques I like to use. So for this, I want to be working in a column of knit stitches that are the same color as the color that I'm weaving in. So I'm going to work along a strand of green that's already there. So I'm working in parallel to an existing stitch just to move my yarn over to that column. And now I'm going to go behind both legs of that green stitch and then go the other way behind the next stitch up. Repeat this, going up this column of stitches. I'm not sure what made me think doing that left-handed was a good idea. And at this point you could trim your yarn. Again, I would prefer to wait to do that until after I block my project. And you can see again that this really is not visible on either side of your work. So I hope that helps to see a couple of different ways that you can weave in your ends depending on what project you have and what's comfortable for you. And I hope that you've enjoyed this and find it useful in your next brioche project. Thank you for watching.